This story is about selling Tom Keifer's um, AMEC Angela console, I think it was, that I had originally sold to him. And it was in the basement of his house. That's where he had the studio. And he was going to be moving to Nashville, and he was disassembling things. And he said, let's sell the console. And I said, all right. And actually, Fred Curry from his band bought the console, but Fred, I think at that point, lived out in LA. So Fred had a friend of his that had a tractor trailer, but I needed to figure out how to get that console from the basement of Tom Keifer's house to the point in this big parking lot so that this tractor trailer could pick it up. So this is when I was at Planet Medley, and I went around to like five guys at the music store, some of the guitar sales guys and drum sales guys, and I asked them, I said, if you guys come, if I could get five of you guys to come, I'll pay you $100 each to come and move this console. And this was a console you didn't disassemble. It's you could take the modules out of it, but it didn't break down into buckets like the SSLs and those consoles. So I got five guys, and they met me over at Tom's house, and we picked up the console, and it was down these stairs. So we had to pick it up, go all the way up these stairs, and it was like a curve, and then we had to get it out into a van, and then we had to drive the van to this parking lot, and then meet this guy, and then load it up into this tractor trailer so we could go out to California. But here's a kicker for the whole thing. Fred never paid me. So I was like, ah. So I had these guys, looking at me the next day, say, "Where's my money?" And I was like, "Yeah, he didn't pay me." And I said, "When I get paid, I'll pay you." He never got around to paying me. And years and years and years later, I had told Tom, the situation. He says, "Oh, you got to get Fred to pay you." And I was backstage with Tom and the band Cinderella, and Tom kept on. He kept on kind of pushing me. He says, "Go over and talk to Fred. Go tell him he owes you that money. I want to hear what he's going to say." And I go, "I'm not going to do that." And he says, "Yeah, just go over there." And he kept, prodding me to do this. I go, "No, no, 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 no. You guys got a show to do. I'm not going to, do that." And he says, "Oh, come on, George." And I said, "No, no." And I think it was a few years later, Fred had called me, and this is when I was selling the Apple computers at cost, because I did this whole other story. You can't make money selling Apple computers unless you get the marketing money. And I kind of mentioned to Fred, I said, "You never paid me that $500. And he said, "Oh, what was it for?" And I told him. He says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He says, "You know what? I'll tack on $500 to the sale, and I'll pay you right now." So he did eventually pay me, but it was like years and years and years later. I didn't know where the guys went to that helped me move the console. So, I just, put it in my pocket. But it was funny how Tom was just pushing me to tell Fred about it. But it was a funny, weird story. But that's how I sold. Well, I don't even have sold it. I arranged for it to be picked up. But that's some of these deals that you do in pro audio. You have to make it all happen.